What's up, everybody? I got a fresh coffee brewing. Please hold. What's up, everybody? I got the Raw preview for tonight. I got the SmackDown spoilers for Friday, taped this past Friday night. You're not going to believe the show they're putting out for us. Awesome. Hold on, guys. I'm still trying to let the unit come in here, man. The replay unit. Much love to you guys if you're not here live. You guys are probably getting all this in full. Live crowds coming in throughout the next hour. Hopefully I have you guys in and out within the next hour. You guys have a good playback. I'm going to put my playback in. What's up, everybody? James, Dave, Eric, Stegmeister, JR9. Alicia, what's up? Let me get this coffee going. This isn't a Dunkin', by the way. Hey, salute. Salute to you. Who's that? Ray Hunt. Salute. Right back to you, Ray Hunt. Appreciate you being here live on a Monday morning / afternoon, wherever you are in the world getting amplified. Salute. This is not a Dunkin'. This is a Folgers. I haven't had a Folgers live with you guys in a long time, man, which means we got to do the jingle, right? We got to do the theme song if we're going to do Folgers, man. First, I still have to put the magic potion in. Now, this is going to be weird. This is Dunkin' Extra Extra. This is sugar and cream mixed by Dunkin'. I order it from, I actually order it from the fine folks at Dunkin'. So it's Dunkin' mixed with Folgers. Ready? Oh, Brianna, you know that. Brianna, these hats are either fine Italian or they're fine Irish. But literally from Italy or from Ireland. You know how we do. Salute, unit. The best part of waking up, it's Folgers in your cup. Folgers, it's in your motherfucking cup. Salute. Yow, that is hot. That is hot like fucking the sun, man. Folgers, man, it brews certainly differently. How's it going, everybody, man? We got a Folgers freshly brewed. Listen, we're in chill mode today, man. We're in no rush, but I do hope to get you guys in and out within about an hour's time. Hopefully, I don't take up too much more of your time. Fix that camera angle. Like I said, we're going to do the Raw preview. We're going to do the SmackDown spoilers. We're also going to tap into the Hurt Business, man. I got breaking news on that. 19th membership, by the way, 19-month membership. I just want to give a shout out over to Sir Charles. 19 months, that is as long as we have had channel membership. Sir Charles says, thanks for 19 months of amplification. Time flies, y'all. Sir Charles, man, does it. I say this all the time. It feels like just a few months ago we started membership, man, those gold cards. So, Sir Charles, man, always bringing those lightning bolts into the chat, always fully amplified. I appreciate it, man, and I thank you, Sir Charles, every single month chucking either a Dunkin' or a Folgers at the channel. Also, to Stegmeister, also 19 months, by the way. Ash Stegels, the Stegmeister, 19 months. What? As a board member, what? for the amp unit. What? Drinking coffee. What? With BC. What? On a Monday. Salute BC and the unit. Stegmeister, if you're still up in the chat, did I hit the what's pretty solid? I'm exhausted, man. We've had a 4-hour workout between cardio and leg day. 4 hours, guys. Because I was bright today and scheduled my cardio with leg day. Not the smart, and I'm talking my 2-hour cardio too. So it is what it is, man. But we ain't exhausted. We amped. We got a fresh coffee, so we're all going to be banging out. Don't you worry. Stegmeister. Sir Charles Stegmeister, and by the way, Kim T. Also a member. What my 19-month club over here, man. Look at all these 19-monthers, man. My day one, no ish. All these gold cards, man. These are 19 months strong. Kim T, what up, BC? Back from Vegas, wanted to stop by. You got me here due to Naomi, and I decided to stick around. Here's to more to come. Kim T, I remember, man, you were a big Naomi supporter. That was when I had just had enough. This was a while back, way before we had membership. And Kim T joined on to the unit as a subscriber. This is before we had channel members. And just a subscriber, and that's because I had had enough, and Naomi was just kind of getting dicked around. And I'm like, dude, if you look at actual talent, like this girl is leaps and bounds above 99.99% of everybody. Naomi is that good. And if you're going to try to say her mic work is what is keeping her back, then you better talk about 99 out of 100% of the females on the roster. So don't give me that shit that it's just Naomi where her mic work is holding her back. Naomi is still to this day phenomenal. And I just felt like her having no titles is damn near criminal. So our movement actually got Naomi a few months later. She actually ended up winning the championship. So I do feel like we were just a small microcosm in the totality of that movement, but the movement was absolutely catapulted and amplified due to people like BC, Kim T, and so many of you guys, man. And we actually got to see Naomi win that title. Was that the same, by the way, was that the same show that Bray Wyatt won his title? Because we were advocating for something special for him as well. I forgot if that was the same. I could have sworn that I did an upload with Naomi and Bray winning the titles. I don't know. If JR9 is up at JR9, if any of you guys can fact check that for me. JR9's right on top of it, along with Craving and Eric Leno. A bunch of you guys are telling me it is Elimination Chamber 2017. Bray and Naomi both won Elimination Chamber 2017. There it is. That was a special... For me, being such a big supporter of both, that was such a special show for me because I know how much they put into everything they do. So anyway, Kim T, I appreciate it, man, being down ever since BC was a big advocate for Naomi earning more in that company. Kim T, 19 months, and Alicia, 19 months, man, my 19-monthers. Don't forget to smash that up on your way in if you're live, and most of you will be catching this over the next 24 to 48 hours on the replay unit, the future unit. So for you guys, my replay squad, you guys also have to smash the up if you don't mind. It helps the algorithm, but it also lets BC know that you are fully amplified. Alicia Vukovic, 19 months, best times hanging with you and the unit. Alicia, I appreciate it, man. Alicia, I don't want to sound redundant in this, but I'm so glad that you guys are not just entertained, but you enjoy the conversations. You know that it's knowledgeable. We all just kind of shoot the shit and kind of bounce off certain questions. And that's what I depend on you guys for in the chat. So trust me, I thank you right back, man. Alicia, Stegmeister, Kim T, Sir Charles, all of my channel members, especially when we do those channel member live streams just for channel members, man. That's when you know. When I do those, that's when I know we got to have a little board of director meeting, and there's some big conversations that need to be discussed. So, yeah. Alicia, best of times hanging with BC. I say, you know what? Same over to you guys, man. I always start off hoping to keep you guys here for about a half an hour to an hour. Sometimes it goes 2-3 hours. I also want to give a shout out to MD20, 2 months membership. MD, OPC, I see a lot of Triple H. I see a lot of Triple H in TK. They do some of the same stuff. A shit ton of matches and custom weekly show. Also, what would you think of a heel Cody? Definitely not a heel Cody anytime soon. That's not even, there's no need for it. The guy's so wildly popular with kids and families and even just singles, whether female, male. A lot of people still, I mean, the ovation is only going to be second to when Roman Reigns comes back. That's when he's going to be number 2 in the company for faces. He's nowhere near a heel talk. So that's a definite no. I will say this, though, MD20, as far as a lot of Triple H and TK, he copies TK a lot. He really does not want him getting credit for anything. I've noticed that about Hunter Hearst Helmsley. You know, it's the little things, too, right? We're trying to get the wrestlers that TK wants. You know, he tried really hard to get Ospreay. Ospreay just didn't want to do the travel. He didn't want to do the move. He still wants to live, just be placed where he still is and just make the trips when he absolutely has to on a limited schedule with AEW. He didn't want to do the WWE schedule. He didn't want to do the move to the US. But just getting people like, for instance, TK just put Stephanie Vecchio on the map, right? I mean, a whole new audience was learning about Stephanie. We heard that TK wants to do more with her. He blinked. Before you know it, HHH brings her into the fold. He never even showed an inkling that he was out for Stephanie Vecchio to get her into the company. Post PLE, post PPV media scrums, right? TK brought them to the limelight, man. TK was doing this thing where he was treating it like a real sport. Before you know it, Hunter Hearst Helmsley started doing post PLE media scrums. And I could go on and on. So he does a lot. I think he knows he's got a bigger stage and a bigger platform. So he can take what TK's doing to do it what he feels is bigger and better and hopefully get the credit for it. But yeah, it's definitely strange. There is a lot of similarities, but trust me when I say there's also great disdain, right? Whereas, you know, when you call it the Piss Ant t-shirt company, like Hunter Hearst Helmsley called AEW, or when you say, oh, congratulations, you beat our developmental brand. Good for you. You know, when you say things like that, it's pretty clear that Hunter Hearst Helmsley wants to defeat AEW and the things that he has done for Shawn Michaels and NXT at times when AEW really needed to pop a rating and all of a sudden Hunter Hearst Helmsley is loading NXT with a lot of main roster stars. We've seen it several times over the last calendar year. So there's similarities for sure, but there's just so many differences as well. Those kind of overshadow the similarities. So yeah, interesting though. But I do, I want to give that shout out over to MD20, man. 2 months of membership. Josh C. We got a lot of memberships pouring in on this Monday. 6 months, half a year membership, Josh C. Triple H doesn't deserve such a stacked roster. Talent should be building a character, yes, but they are given nothing to work with. Takes 2 to tango. For sure. Right? We had all these reasons to just be like, what are you doing, Vince? Right? Vince and Kennedy McMahon. Like, start, stop momentum, right? Give them 2 inches, take them back a mile. That was Vince McMahon. Then you see Paul Levesque McMahon, Hunter Hearst Helmsley. And he does it in a different way, right? But he still plays to his favorites. He still swipes underneath the rug the ones he doesn't like or doesn't care for or just feels like they're just good hands. It's funny, we're about to talk about Bob Lashley in a little bit. Bobby Lashley's booking and Bobby Lashley most likely leaving WWE. You know, Hunter Hearst Helmsley is a big focal point of that discussion today. He's taking a lot of criticism. A lot of fans are befuddled as to how you can botch Bob Lashley when you saw the old man. You saw your stepfather. Well, what is he? Father-in-law. You saw Vince and Kennedy McMahon botch Bobby Lashley so many times. One of the first things you do when you take office, if you will, is you look at a dude like Bob Lashley and you say, what can we do? Well, I think we all can agree that he never even gave Bob Lashley a booking chance. We're going to go over that too, by the way. Things that were presented to Helmsley and he actually denied, said no to, and then gave a really raunch version of what was asked of him. I'll explain when we go over that. So anyway, Josh C., absolutely correct, man. 6-month membership. I appreciate you big time. So to all my channel members, man, you guys are showing up in force. We're only like a dozen away from 100 on the ups before I even go over some of my discussions that I want to kick off. So thank you for near 100. Let's get that to 100 so the replay unit can start that process to 2. Salute unit. I'll get to all super chats during this hour as well, I assure you. So any one of you guys that are chucking coffees at the channel via super chats, I'm going to make sure that I get to every single one of you after I show that respect and give a shout out to Spicy Mama McCaleb, 14-month membership. Gold after Spicy Mama's name. What up, BC? My lunch break is over, so I'll catch the playback. Spicy Mama, thank you for stopping by, saying what's up, smashing that up. Kick ass at work, you know the deal. This will be up on the channel afterwards. Spicy Mama, here's to another 14 months plus going forward of spiciness. Salute. If you're just tuning in, this isn't a Dunkin', man. This is a Folgers. It's been a while since I was able to do a Folgers live, man. Boycott, I appreciate that. Absolutely. Well, you talk about inside information. I got an update on the Bobby Lashley story. So you guys have probably heard by now that Bobby Lashley's contract, and if you haven't heard, you came to the right place. Bobby Lashley's contract. Oh, hold on. Real quick, let me just spit out another story, man. I want to give a shout out over to Sky Blue. Much love and strength over to Sky Blue. She just suffered a broken ankle, and I've had a broken ankle, and it is painful, and it's a process to get back. But Sky Blue broke her ankle this past Saturday on Collision in a match against Sheeta. So we do want to wish Sky Blue a speedy recovery. Not too speedy, right? We want it to be a good recovery. But I've always liked Sky Blue. I just think she's a little spitfire. I didn't see a reason to turn her heel, by the way. I know the story called for it, but if you think about it, no, it didn't. I wouldn't have even gone that route. There was so much more I would have done with Sky Blue first. That's another story, but I do want to wish Sky Blue the very best. All right, so for Bobby Lashley, his contract does expire after SummerSlam. Now, if you're wait a second, BC, isn't MVP's contract expiring after SummerSlam? The answer to that is yes. MVP, Bobby Lashley, both expiring after SummerSlam. Shelton Benjamin has already been released by WWE, and Cedric has nothing creatively going for him. So that's why a lot of people are leaning to the talk of, wait a second, the stars are aligning for a company like AEW to resurrect an amazing concept of the Hurt Business. Now, yes, they cannot use the Hurt Business name. That is absolutely trademarked by WWE. I do have confirmation they did not let that slide. They still hold that copyright, that trademark. So they cannot be the Hurt Business. But absolutely, they can all come together. And before I even get to that, the update that I have, there's several updates that we're getting. First of all, the fact that it is after SummerSlam. The original word was Bobby Lashley's contract ends at the end of this month. It is after SummerSlam. Number 2, the Bobby Lashley, from what we're being told, the latest report is that WWE actually offered him a new deal, and Bobby Lashley scoffed at it. Said, absolutely not. What is this? So for Bobby Lashley to so quickly be like, whoa, hold on. This is a guy who's seen many contracts, right? I mean, he knows right from wrong. For Bobby Lashley to go, hold on, we're starting to see a trend of WWE isn't necessarily just releasing individuals or just letting them walk out with no new contract, but we're seeing them lowball a lot of individuals. And Bobby Lashley looks like, if this report holds up to be true, and he was offered a deal and quickly said absolutely not. Like, this is laughable, this is a joke, this is basically, it's a slap in the face. If that's true, then this is WWE's new way to just feel like everybody is expendable. Everybody is going to work for the lowest wage imaginable, or there's the door. They don't see any value anyway in a lot of these individuals. Let's be honest, right? Cameron Grimes, Dijaks, you name it. MVP was already on. MVP has been very vocal. MVP has not been happy with Hunter Hearst Helmsley. MVP said that they went to Hunter Hearst Helmsley and wanted to resurrect the Hurt Business. And they were denied by Hunter Hearst Helmsley, the man of three H's. He denied it. And then afterwards, a few months later, he put Bobby Lashley with the Street Profits. And we were like, this has potential. It's not the Hurt Business, but we'll see where it goes, right? We'll let the man of three H's, we'll give it some time. We'll see what he has planned for Street Profits and Bobby Lashley. I thought it was weird. I mean, why not just redo the Hurt Business correctly this time? But he put the Profits with Lashley, and he never even had a plan for him. He just put them together to sit him at catering or give him some weird booking. Vincent Kennedy booked Bob Lashley better than that. Kennedy gave him titles at least. Gave him the Braun Strowman treatment, right? Give him a few inches, then take him back a mile. Give him a storyline, sit him at catering for a month. Give him a championship, shut everybody up for a few months. Whereas Hunter Hearst Helmsley has given Bob Lashley nothing. Very odd. Very strange, the booking of Bobby Lashley. And when he was mixed up with the Street Profits, the booking went from, hey, this could be something special, to, hey, this is pretty fucking bad. I didn't understand what Hunter Hearst Helmsley was doing with the Profits and Bobby Lashley. Why were they together then? Just because they're black? Because can anybody in the chat allow me to know why the Profits joined with Lashley with no plan? A month after MVP said, hey, I wanted to reignite the Hurt Business. So I'm serious. It's a real conversation. I mean, why else would they be put together with no plan? Because you had nothing, nor did you want to give anything to Bobby Lashley. You had nothing going for the Street Profits. That was pretty obvious. And they got put together, and I think most of us were like, let's give this a chance, right? Because we want to see the best for Lashley. We want to see the best for the Profits. I couldn't believe how they botched them that quickly. And then MVP talking about, like, you know, Triple H, he had a chance to do the right thing and resurrect something that never should have been destroyed. And for some reason, he just didn't want to do it. And I could see if he had a bigger plan, right? No, I can't do that, MVP. I have something much bigger for Bobby Lashley, much bigger for the Street Profits, much bigger for you, MVP. But he had nothing. Literally nothing. Just did not want to book these dudes correctly. And mind you, by the way, this is not fake outrage, right? On this channel, if you're new to the channel, anybody in this chat will tell you I've always been an advocate for Bobby Lashley. I've always felt his booking has absolutely undermined what this dude can actually bring to the table. I'm not saying he's the greatest on the microphone, but you put somebody like an MVP with him, you put a group like the Hurt Business together, you got something special. As long as you don't screw up the booking, as long as you give them actual time, effort, care, they'll do the same. But I've always been an advocate for Bobby Lashley. Not the best talker, I understand. But again, you give him a good mouthpiece, you give him a good direction, this dude's going to put everything else on his back. Bobby Lashley is more than believable, more than realistic. Bobby Lashley's damn good at what he does. And to see how Bob Lashley was booked under Vincent Kennedy, garbage. To see how he's booked under Hunter Hearst Helmsley, even worse, somehow. But it's not fake outrage. As much as I even supported the dude, it's not fake outrage, trust me. It's more just being mind-boggled how you can look at Bob Lashley, and he's been away, by the way, on a little injury. So I'm not saying that he's been on catering just because H has had nothing for him. He's been out with an injury for now, but there's been so many times where you could have utilized this dude. If he's been injured ever since 3H's took office, if you will, and started leading WWE, you would still give him proper booking, right? CM Punk hasn't been able to wrestle for months. You'd never know it, though. He's in one of the best storylines right now. So Yeah, a lot of people will go, oh, where was everybody when Lashley, when we didn't hear that his contract was up? Nobody cared about Bobby Lashley. That's actually not true. People like BC have been pleading out for better booking for Bobby. To hear that he turned down a contract because it's a slap in the face, to hear that WWE doesn't think that he's more valuable than he truly is, that's the problem with WWE. Losing people like Dijak and Cameron Grimes and Bobby Lashley, and they almost let Drew McIntyre out the door. From what I'm hearing with the contract that Drew finally signed, it's not exactly what Drew wanted. Drew just took one for the team, didn't want to relocate to another company like AEW. But I'm hearing that a lot of these contracts are slaps in the face. Just about, are they going to sign it or not? Becky Lynch, we're hearing she's not totally thrilled with her contract. Natty went up to the 11th hour. Natty was like, what are you giving me? Ricochet may have just said absolutely not. And this is a residential jobber, whether it's Vincent Kennedy or Levesque McMahon. So it's more being mind-boggled, right? Not fake outrage. It's boggling that you can look at Bob Lashley for years, Vincent Kennedy and Hunter Hearst Helmsley. On this channel, we are not letting Helmsley off the hook, especially as of the last year and a half. Lashley has been so underutilized, misutilized, not utilized. And I don't know how that's possible. I don't know how you possibly do that with somebody like Bobby Lashley. So maybe that is just, BC, people like me, we're just baffled. And maybe there's a lot of individuals that's no harm, no foul. Who cares? It's just Bobby Lashley. But you should care, because that's a trend that we're starting to see with Hunter Hearst Helmsley, is so many people are just easily replaceable or just casted aside, thrown aside, overlooked, expendable. So I don't get it. So the question would go, AEW, I always say that their company is too bloated. They have too many people on the roster. They have like 350 people on their roster. Slight exaggeration, but only slight. They have so many people on their roster. So many. They can't bring everybody in. That's why you can't bring in Dolph Ziggler. Can you even bring in a Ricochet just to have banger matches and hope that Meltzer gives you 6 stars? I don't know. Just seems like there's so many individuals in AEW that Tony Khan has an issue. I can't put them all on TV. And guess what? Over the last year, we're starting to see more and more wrestlers in AEW say, I'm pretty pissed off. I'm not getting the time that I think I should be getting. Same thing we used to see in WWE, right? You're seeing that in AEW. So now the question is, can they even bring in Shelton Benjamin, Bobby Lashley, MVP, and one day soon Cedric Alexander? Can they do it? This is one of those rare times, because usually I'm like, you just can't. You can't do it. Sorry, Ricochet. Sorry, Dolph Ziggler. Sorry. Not sorry. This is one of those rare times I say, if you have the opportunity to land Lashley, Benjamin, and MVP, you bring them right in. I'm not saying you redo an NWO angle, but you absolutely let everybody know that this is the resurrection of the Hurt Business. Just because you can't use the name because WWE owns the name, you absolutely bring them in, and you absolutely let people think subconsciously they're WWE's Hurt Business. And you do it correctly this time. They are the badass group that they should have been booked like in WWE. I have so many creative avenues you can go with the Hurt Business. I always did with WWE. And unfortunately, they dismembered him. Vince McMahon ended it too soon. And Hunter Hearst Helmsley didn't want to reignite it for some reason. But if they can all get back together, I'm telling you, man, there is so much more that group has to accomplish. There's so much more they can do in pro wrestling. So absolutely, the Hurt Business, any members you can get, even if it's just you have to wait for Cedric, you absolutely bring them to AEW. I don't care. You never want to see people lose their job. You never want to, it's not really a job. They're independent contractors. But you never want to have people miss out on TV time. But this If you have the chance to reignite something that Hunter Hearst Helmsley doesn't want to do, and you have the power to do it, if you are Tony Khan, if you are AEW, you absolutely reignite the Hurt Business. I would love to see it. Somebody give them the proper booking. And I don't know. Tony Khan isn't the best indicator that he can do such. But it's basically the last chance you have. Because again, Hunter Hearst Helmsley doesn't want to do it. He already told MVP that. MVP actually got pissed off. Big part of probably why you haven't seen MVP back yet, right? I mean, it's been months. You have not heard a peep from MVP. He's right now in the free agent category. If you guys check out the WWE roster, in the free agency, there's 3 dudes. Brock Lesnar, he's still getting a payday. Brock Lesnar is not on any like little, he comes back here and there and collects money when he comes back. No, he is on the active roster. Brock Lesnar is getting paid. Then you have Omos. For some reason, Omos is getting paid every week, every month he's getting that check. And MVP. He's not actually out of the company yet. His contract expires right with Bobby Lashley after SummerSlam. But MVP has been pissed at Hunter Hearst Helmsley. He said that. He's very pissed that he would not listen to his ideas. Some of those ideas were reinstoring the Hurt Business. And now we're hearing that Bobby Lashley turned down this contract because it was a slap in the face, basically. And Bobby Lashley is now going to leave WWE. Shelton Benjamin's already gone. MVP is going to be joining Lashley. This is the chance for them to get together one last time. Let's see if they can work anywhere else. They will not be able to use the Hurt Business name, though. But it was clear that Helmsley just wasn't a fan of the Hurt Business, just like his father-in-law. He had the chance to redo it. And he wanted to do his own thing with the Profits and Lashley, and then it was clear he didn't want to give them any actual booking. I will say this, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, he gets a lot of people let him slide with everything, I've noticed, ever since he took over. A lot of people are just like, they're just Hunter Hearst Helmsley marks, right? They're just, everything he does, they applaud. If something is wrong or bad, they blame something else. But they always let Hunter Hearst Helmsley go, right? Oh, he's the man. He's cooking. This is the most outrage I've seen on Hunter Hearst Helmsley in a long time, actually. A lot of people are upset with Helmsley. And I think it's a culmination of a lot of little things. And a lot of big things. But I think Bobby Lashley had that support, whether people spoke out or not. I think this is one of those things where it's like, dude, how do you lose Bobby Lashley? Stop it. When you didn't even really give him a chance, whether he was injured or not, when he was wrestling or when he was injured, you just never gave him the time of day. You put him in weird positions. You put him in weird groups like with the Profits. You didn't give him anything. You put him in situations to fail. And this is one of those times where Hunter Hearst Helmsley is actually taking a lot of heat in the community. So I'm glad that people are at least, transparent with right and wrong. I'm glad that people hold the dude accountable. You can love Hunter Hearst Helmsley. That's fine. You could be a big fan. Back in the day, I was a huge fan when he was a heel, the cerebral assassin. I would drink the water and spritz it out, But as we get older and as he takes on a new role, basically leading WWE, you got to be honest. There's a lot of bad in this company. That's why Monday Night Raw pulls a 1.6. That's why SmackDown can barely get over 2.2 on certain weeks. If you're wondering why Vincent Kennedy McMahon was pulling in higher ratings than Hunter Hearst Helmsley, it's because the majority of the audience is confused by Helmsley's product. That's just the truth. It's confusing. They've seen one too many heel versus heel matchups. And you're going to get one of this main event, right? Damian and Gunther at SummerSlam. Heel versus heel all the time. Or face versus face all the time, right? Dragunov, portrayed as a face. Sami Zayn's a face. Let's put him in the ring and they'll shake hands afterwards. Fans don't know who to cheer for, if they should be cheering. Why do they have a reason to cheer? So the best you can hope for when you buy a ticket is just to have a sing-along or a dance-along. Hope that you'll go, whoa, or maybe you'll do some yeeting, right? Just participate. Every match, after a couple minutes, you can yell, "This is awesome." That's what they're hoping for, because the product is confusing. Vince McMahon's product was bad, absolutely. Hunter's is bad mixed with confusing. And that's going to drive away an audience. And sure enough, Monday Night Raw, 1/6s, 1/7s if they're lucky, no football competition. 2.2, 2.3 if SmackDown is lucky. If you're wondering why the numbers are where they are, that's why. And it's not going to get better if you don't put the dude in charge, if you don't treat him as such. He's the guy. He's leading this. You know, there's a couple of interesting storylines, and everybody's like, whoa, WWE is banging off. You know, because you got Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. And by the way, that ended horribly on Monday. Rhea wasn't even pissed. She was just disappointed. That's the big headline on WWE.com over the last 24 hours. Rhea wasn't pissed, but she's disappointed. Oh, I know. We saw that Monday. We thought there was going to be some fun, a good segment on Monday. No, Rhea comes back and just lets Dominic apologize for 3 hours. We thought she was going to put Dominic through a brick wall. No fun. The Chad Gable storyline and turning heel and going against Bo Dallas and all that. Chad Gable says that was his idea. That wasn't even Hunter Hearst. Chad Gable said it was my idea to turn heel and start this pathway. The Bloodline has been a bootleg version of what we had when Sami Zayn and the Bloodline were interacting. That was under Vince's days, by the way. But this is just bringing in all of these individuals that the majority of the wrestling world doesn't even know. Tonga Loa, Tama Tonga, Tonka Truck, Tonga Boa, Boa Noa, Boa Sola, Sola Noa, Ay Caramba, whoever the fuck is coming in, right? You got every family member in the world. That's all he's doing. And every week they beat up Cody and they beat up Randy and they beat up Owens. And then we step back and go, whoa, Hunter is cooking. He's not cooking. A 3-hour Monday Night Raw is a chore to go through still. Now, if you want to give him little awards, some cookie, if you want to take out some cookies and give it to him like it's a treat, that's fine, right? At least it's a little better than Vince. That's fine. I'll give you that. Much love. Much respect if you think it's much better than Vince even. But he also lacks in a lot of areas that are absolutely destroying these shows. Which is why you get a 1.6 Monday Night Raw rating 2 weeks before SummerSlam. Right? That's not our opinions, guys. That's not BC's opinion. That's not James Shrimp Fajita's opinion. That's not JR9's opinion. That's not Big Nang's opinion. That's the fact. Those are the actual numbers that they're getting. They tried to use the excuse of the baseball home run derby. There was no stars in it. None. Nobody wanted to participate. So you're telling me people just wanted to watch lob up balls going into the stands by a bunch of nobodies. That's how boring the wrestling product was? Stop it. Because when they're not pulling in 1/6, they're 1/7 if they're lucky. We want the dude to succeed, no question. But if you're wondering why fans are baffled by this regime in WWE, baffled by what they're witnessing, if you're wondering why fans are not putting Hunter Hearst Helmsley on a pedestal, it's because they're not willing to kiss his ass. There's so many things that need to be fixed, and Hunter Hearst Helmsley is just too egotistical that he always needs to be in front of the camera. Every single time there's a promotional thing, there's Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Are you ready, France? They're going to Germany. Are you ready, Germany? There's Triple H, right? You got the WrestleMania promotion. You got the WrestleMania documentary. You got the kickoff. He is everywhere. Just stay behind the scenes with your pen, your magic pen, and your notepad, and just give us good creative. We don't need to see you at the kickoff every single time. We don't need to see you on every single promotional. We get it. You're trying to relive old glory. I get it. There's no reason you should be one of the faces of this company. I'm so done with seeing Hunter Hearst Helmsley go, are you ready? Pick up the pacing on these shows. Stop being stupid. Stop looking at people like Dijak and Cameron and Bobby and going, you're expendable. I have seen more Hunter Hearst Helmsley in the time that he has been head creator, leading WWE. I have seen more of him than when he was a talent in wrestling. See this guy all over the place. Taking credit for the Triple H era. Well, that era is pulling in 1.6 Raw ratings. Vince McMahon is at home right now with a paralegal laughing his ass off. Probably butt-ass naked, but still laughing his ass off. It's not just Bobby Lashley, right? This is the straw that breaks the camel's back. A lot of people are just had enough with Hunter Hearst Helmsley because we're just seeing this too often. And it doesn't stop. He needs to stop, look at his roster, and go, okay, there are certain people here, a lot of them, that I have to book better. I have to. I cannot book these individuals like this. I cannot have Damage Control pick up a W over faces, right? Val, Chance, and Carter. So Damage Control finally gets a victory as a heel group, and immediately another heel group jumps the heel group. Sonya Deville, Zoe Stark, Shayna Baszler are beating up Damage Control moments after Damage Control beat up the faces. So heels are out healing the other heels. Doesn't make sense. Didn't you learn when you had Bronson Reed take on Gunther and you tried to get sympathy for Bronson and Bronson absolutely had crickets as a response? To this day, he never recovered from that booking. Bronson Reed is taking over the residential jobber position of Ricochet. Bronson has never recovered from that Gunther match, heel versus heel. And you would think this guy would understand that's not how you book these wrestlers, because one of them is going to come out looking like an idiot. One is going to have to out-heel the other. Dragunov going for the IC title against another face, Sami Zayn, when you have not booked Dragunov correctly against heels, first of all. But on top of that, Dragunov is in there with Ricochet most weeks, or Jey Uso every single week. You're looking at Dragunov, you're trying to book him as a face, but every week he's taking on faces. Jey Uso, Ricochet twice, Sami Zayn for the IC title. I think 1 or 2 weeks he took on Braun Breaker. That was it. Why, man? One person's going to out-heal the other, one person is going to out-face the other, and the other is going to be detrimentally hurt from it. There's no reason you book Damage Control like that. There's no reason you take somebody like Dragunov. His whole character is invincible. It's the name. So you have to protect him. I'm not saying he's like The Undertaker, but you got to protect him when he loses. It's got to be few and far in between when somebody like Dragunov loses, because that's his whole character. That's his identity, right? If you're a supporter of Dragunov, you know if he loses too many times, that what makes him special, gone instantly. Guess what? Loss. Dragunov, huge supporter is BC. Guess what? His special aspect, gone. Gone. It's absolutely gone. It's like Solo Sikoa. You want this dude to be one of the main events of SummerSlam. And after he annihilated Cena, you put him on a 41-match losing streak. And then all of a sudden, because he brought in a bunch of dudes that most of the wrestling world doesn't even know, again, Tonga Loa, Loa Hunga, Tonka Truck, Hallelujah, who else knows? Everybody. He brought in everybody, right? And we got to try to decipher their names. Tonga Loa, Loa Tonga, Tonga Hunga, Hunga Bonga. We got to try to decipher it all, right? So you have all these people, and then you go, he's the leader of this bootleg bloodline. That's why you should believe that he's going for the title in the main event of SummerSlam. No, a lot of us fans are going to remember that he lost 41 matches in a row. 41! And now we're supposed to look at Solo Sikoa like a champion in the main event of SummerSlam, the second biggest event of the year. So if you're cool with it, much respect. Right, this isn't bashing anybody that's totally okay with watching Cody and Solo, because at least we're going to get Roman Reigns back, BC. That's cool, man. But don't be shocked when there's a lot of fans that this is not acceptable booking. Solo is not SummerSlam main event title worthy. Absolutely not. You haven't booked him correctly. You know, don't be shocked when there's a lot of fans that are questioning why Sonya's heel group is beating up Damage Control, the heel group. You think Damage Control is now going to be faces because of that? And you think that's going to be better booking? You think that's going to work? You're putting confidence in that? Why is Bronson just getting just destroyed by Gunther? He has not rebounded from that in months. Why are you plucking Dragunov after all these losses to go to an IC title match when you know he's not going to win the title? Why? I feel like Hunter Hearst Helmsley has no reason to do anything. No rhyme or reason. Every show is just like however he wakes up and whatever he jots down, that's what he's going to do. He doesn't care if you're a face or a heel. He doesn't care if it makes sense. He's just going to do what he does because he knows there's enough people that are kissing his ass anyway. Nothing he can do is wrong. Hunter Hearst Helmsley has the magic key. Monday Night Raw is pulling 4.0 ratings. Oh, no, it's not. No, it's not. It's pulling the lowest ratings of all time because the fans don't know what is happening. There's a few good things going on. Okay, we're going to see what happens with Gable in the Wyatt 6. The Rhea Ripley thing was going okay. Last week, it was horrendous booking. They had nothing for Rhea Ripley's return. Her and Dominic had a high school argument fight, right? At lunch, the two kids are arguing. That's all this was for 3 hours. So that is already done. That's gone. And now I guess you just have the bloodline beating up the faces every single week. Somebody's going to go through the SmackDown announce table. Somebody stay away from the announce table. Every single Friday night, somebody's going to go through it so the bloodline can hold up their ones. So don't be shocked when fans are just like, no, this is, you got to do better than this. You have to. You have to do better than this. 2 female matches on Friday. Both of them end in a roll-up. Bianca Belair is freaking holding down Chelsea Green. Michin is holding down Tiffany Stratton. Little things like that. You can't just look at your shit. As Hunter Hearst Helmsley, as the head of creative, I know you have match bookers, but it's your job to give the final approval. You didn't look at the 2 female matches you have, and you didn't think, hey, it's the same finish. You're just holding the opponent down. You can't do that. One of you has to deliver an actual finisher. Both are just holding down and basically fruit roll-ups. It's your job to make sure that doesn't happen. Cosmic. That's the problem. Exactly right. Cosmic in the chat. There are a lot of positions where they just cannot come back from. That's the issue. That's what a lot of these wrestlers are trying to like say, hey, can we do, is there a way we do this a little bit different? So it's a little easier on me when I'm looking up at the lights. That's fine. I'll do the job. I'll do the deed for you. But put me in a position where I can bounce back from it, right? Otherwise, people like Zelina Vega, they're just going to be the first of a lot more to come to speak out about Hunter Hearst Helmsley not helping them at all. Zelina Vega's like, dude, just give me the ball. If I drop it, fuck it. I'll go back to the beginning of the line. But Zelina's like, okay, I did the deed for you. I went into this world championship match just so Liv Morgan could win. I have no problem with that. But she's like, a week later, don't put me in a 60-second loss to Sonya. You know what I mean? That's the type of booking that makes fans go, what are you doing, dude? She just came out of a title match. We understand she was not going to get the title. Liv should not be losing it. But why the next week a 60? This is what he likes to do. He'll bump you up just to give you just to get that one big loss, and then he has no use for you. Right? He bumped Xia Li up just to put her in that match with Becky and who else? Was it Val in NXT? A couple of big losses. And then Xia was told to sit at catering, then eventually home for 2 weeks, and then she was released. So, I don't know. There's a lot of people upset with Hunter Hearst Helmsley about the Bobby Lashley thing, but I don't think it's just Lashley. I think it's just a culmination of a lot of things, and a lot of fans are finally getting fed up. You know, I think it's a lot of like, I think a lot of fans wanted to see like such good big change when Vince took off. And they said, oh, it'll take some time, right? Some weeks, months, years, maybe even, right? So we're deep into it now. And I think people are starting to see like Hunter's booking, it's not good. Even if you say it's better than Vince, that's fine. That's totally fine. Ratings are saying otherwise, but I see some areas where it's absolutely better than Vince. I also see a lot of areas where he's absolutely clueless, where, believe it or not, Vince actually was a little better in. So I totally see areas where they flip-flopped. Vince, the last 10 years, was just bad. The Raws were so tough to get through. So that was a different type of bad. This is a different type of bad with Hunter, but it doesn't make it good just because it's a different type of bad. And I think a lot of people are just trying to hang on to that hope, you know? So you get a couple of good storylines, and you're like, all right, yes, Hunter's cooking. This is good, right? It's the beginning of something special. And then you quickly see it fall to the wayside. I think fans are now starting to see, like, hold on, maybe we do have to make sure that Hunter Hearst Helmsley is, you know, getting the fair criticism, that we're not just putting him up on the pedestal. He is leading the creative, and the creative is in the shitter. And you're losing a lot of good wrestlers that they have earned better booking. That's the thing. Fuck deserved. They have earned better booking. What do you guys feel about Bobby Lashley, man? Like, if you were privy to signing this dude, like you had first negotiation rights, you can sign this guy right now, would you sign him, or do you just do you look at him and you're like, nah, no thanks? Or do you sign him and really try to give him something special, man? See, like, one last time, let's see what Lashley can really do. What do you guys think, man? What do you guys think about Hunter, man? How can Hunter botch Bobby Lashley so badly? In some cases, worse than Vince did. Like, how can Hunter bash this dude and botch him like he did and not want to recreate Hurt Business when MVP was pleading for Hunter to just give us one more chance as Hurt Business? Why would Hunter not want to do it? DeMonte, I would sign him. Miles, because Hunter is just not creative. He was taking Vince's orders. Triple H is not innocent. I would sign him, put him as my world champion, JoJo. After what happened with Bobby Lashley, I am now worried about what Triple H is going to do with the Motor City Machine Gun, Sarah. Marie just says Lashley needs to leave. I think that's the thing. Lashley saw the contract, thought it was a slap in the face, and he's like, dude, forget this, man. I'm not doing this. JJ Bulldog, Triple H just had no taste in creative. Angel, TNA. Well, but it's possible. Absolutely possible. JR9 would expect Motor City Machine Guns to head to NXT. Yeah, I mean, I'm not making that a big story because adding another tag team to WWE does nothing. I don't know how you guys can be that excited to see Motor City Machine Guns. What do you think they're going? What do you think's going to happen? DIY with titles isn't booked properly, with or without titles. DIY, there's no tag division. So, no, I didn't get excited that WWE is getting Motor City Machine Gun. Who cares who they're getting, man? You can bring in King Kong and Godzilla, Optimus Prime and Megatron as a tag team. It's not going to do anything. Be a spectacle. But, you know, if you're talking about Hunter's creative, he doesn't have a tag division. He has tag teams. Every single time we need to get number one contenders, you know for a fact he gives you some gauntlet match or a tag team battle royal, right? That's how we always come up with contenders. This Friday, guys, I have the spoilers. What am I talking about? This Friday, he did it again. He just put a bunch of teams in there, and we'll have the spoilers for that. He put all the tag teams in one match as a gauntlet. He does it all the time. There's no division. Nobody's going to care about the match. There's no real feud or storyline. You're just putting all your teams into one match. One team is victorious over all the others, and the match is made. Boom, for the next PLE. You're going to see DIY versus this team, the Bloodline. Okay, where's the fun? You just made a match out of nowhere because they won a match, a gauntlet match again? That's what we have to bring back in WWE, man. When title matches really were ignited by feuds, but they were believable because you could see that this feud, they would be next in line, or at least they were like the top 3 or 4 that would be next up for the title. But you start it with an actual story, like a feud. You can't just get to a championship match every fucking time by a gauntlet match or a battle royal or a fatal four-way or a tournament. That's not fun for anybody. That's not a story. What's the story with these two? Oh, this guy right here, he won a tournament. So now he's going for the title. Okay, that's not really... Okay. Treat it like a real sport, I guess, right? They won a tournament to get to the title. What's up with this tag team championship match? Oh, this is good. Ready? That team on the right, they won a gauntlet match. Oh, so there's no real story or anything? No, the story is they went through hell. They went through a gauntlet match. Now they're going to take on the champs. Well, shit, let me whip out the wallet then, man. This is fun. Yeah, where's the story, man? This Friday, they're doing it again. Gauntlet match to come up with number one contenders because we're too fucking lazy to get creative. We don't want to get creative. And we're supposed to just put Hunter Hearst Helmsley on a pedestal. You can't criticize this dude because people will cry. No, absolutely not. He is the head of creative, damn it. He's the one who's making gauntlet matches for number one contenders. Really? That's the best? For SummerSlam. Really, dude? How does that make your whole division look when they're constantly losing these matches? Doesn't tell them they don't even have to come out of... No wonder they all suck. They don't have to try. If they lose this gauntlet match, next month... they're going to be in another one. Maybe it's a battle royal or a gauntlet or a tag team tournament match. Or tournament, right? Every month they're going to have another opportunity to become champions. Doesn't matter if Pretty Deadly loses the next 100 matches in a row. Every month they're going to be in a match where they're one win away from titles. You guys know I'm right, man. Even if it kind of pisses you off how right I am, right? They're going to be in position the next month. They're going to be right there. Pretty Deadly. I'll give you a spoiler already before I get to it. Pretty Deadly does not win this gauntlet match. It doesn't even matter. Next month, Battle Royal for number one contendership. Just sit at catering, eat some triple layer moose cake for 4 weeks. When your number is called in the Battle Royal, you'll be right back in contention. I appreciate the banger bombs up in the chat. I appreciate the truth bombs. I appreciate the facts BC. Appreciate that unit. We're just preaching truth, man. We're preaching truth. That's all it is. I don't care about my own opinion. I'll throw my opinion to the side, man. Especially when we're live, we just got to talk the facts. There's no tag team division. So when I heard Motor City Machine Guns are coming, I didn't even bat an eyelash. I'm like, all right. What does that? What does that mean? What they're gonna be booked on speed tag team matches? They're gonna win some main event matches? Oh, unit. So anyway, that's the update on Lashley. He is after an hour-long rant. After an hour-long rant. Bobby Lashley's contract expiring after SummerSlam right around the same time as MVP. Shelton Benjamin's already out, of course. It only makes sense that the word going around that TK would be interested. I think that interest should be explored. They cannot call themselves the Hurt Business. WWE owns that trademark. But, I mean, if you're not going to book Bobby Lashley correctly, then at this point, I'm glad that he is on his way. And again, we're hearing that they did offer Lashley a contract. It was just laughable. So he said no to it. We're going to find out more, obviously, within the next day or two. But I don't blame Bobby Lashley at all. Vince never booked him that great at all. Hunter doesn't book him properly in the least. What else can the guy do? If the company's not going to back him in the best of ways, there's only so much that he can do. Vince destroyed Hurt Business too early. It was his creation, but he did destroy it way too prematurely. And Hunter didn't want to redo it the right way. Even when MVP and Bobby were pleading to him, he just didn't want to do it. And that's a botch. That's an absolute botch for BC. We should have gotten the successful run of the Hurt Business. So that's what we know of now. It just looks like Helmsley was never a fan of her business. I guess that we just chalk it up to that. And it looks like he's not even a fan of Bobby Lashley. So we'll see if somebody else will be a fan of Bobby, of Shelton, of MJF. MVP. MJF is already there. So we'll see, guys. That's the update on Lashley. I don't know, man. I would definitely be down with a one last run, her business in AEW, if done correctly. Because another report we're hearing too is that AEW, Tony Khan, is cutting costs. You're starting to see it with residencies, right? Instead of worrying about filling arenas that are being 20% filled sometimes, he's just going to have residencies. And he's just going to set up shop for several weeks at a time in one location. I think that's pretty smart. He took off the Elton John song for Saturday Night's Collision. That music is very expensive. Very expensive. And he does it a lot. So he's cutting those costs. So it's about time. I think he's seeing the bottom dollar. I think he knows that this new Discover deal with Warner Discover, he knows that it's not for what he wanted it to be. He wanted a lot more money. He's not getting it. So I think this is where Tony Khan is now trying to shed anywhere he can any costs. And talking about rosters real quick, WWE's roster no longer has Tamina on it. I told you guys for a long time, Tamina was an active roster member, guys. Not alumni. Tamina was getting a paycheck from WWE. She was on the active roster. Just like Brock Lesnar still is and such. Trish Stratus, guys. Believe it or not. But Tamina has been taken off. So I think that was something that Vince directly wanted her to always be employed. Something with Jimmy the Superfly Snuka. So now with Vince kind of removed there and they're trying to cut these costs and lowball offers, Tamina, it looks like that's it. Yeah, well, we'll see. She was pretty much retired anyway. Nia Jax pretty much said she was retired. You know, it's been 18 months since you saw Tamina do anything. So, I mean, it was astonishing that she was still on the active roster collecting a check from the active roster. Interesting. Tamina Snuka taken off. Again, we want to wish Sky Blue the best. Broken ankle on Collision in a match against Sheeta. All the best to Sky Blue and a speedy recovery. Not too speedy. Make sure you're all ready to rock 100%. Also, happy birthday to Shawn Michaels, HBK, 59 years old. Next year at this time, we will be celebrating 60 years of Shawn Michaels. Man, makes you think, right? We're getting old if Shawn Michaels is damn near 60. 59 years old for Shawn Michaels. SmackDown spoiler results. This is spoilers, guys. If you don't want to hear these spoilers, earmuffs, or come back with the next upload. I will have the Raw review in the next 24 hours. Come back for that. Much love and appreciation. Much respect. Go whoop that ass. But for the next 5 to 10 minutes-ish, we're going to talk SmackDown for this Friday. It was taped on Friday, guys. After the live episode this past Friday, they taped next week's or this week's SmackDown. That's because the talent, the crew, they're all in Japan this weekend. Tokyo, Osaka, they're all going to be in Japan on a little mini tour. So they taped Friday's SmackDown. I have the spoilers, so let's talk about it. The show is going to kick off with Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill in a back-and-forth promo with Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. Belair and Cargill drop the champions to end the first segment. Doesn't sound too intriguing, does it? It looks like we're going to play a game of hot potato where Jade and Bianca win the championships at SummerSlam. And so Alba and Isla only got the titles because they were in Scotland. Right? They were plucked from catering and they were thrown into a title match and they won it to get a pop from Scotland. And then they're going to give it right back at SummerSlam. Because some people are like, the only other option is Bianca and Jade turning on one another, right? No matter who turns heel. But they're not planting those seeds, really. There's no seeds being planted for Jade and Bianca to all of a sudden one of them turn on the other. Not in an Alba-Isla match. Like, if you're going to turn Bianca on Jade or Jade on Bianca, I don't think it would be an Alba-Isla match. But that would be the only other outcome, right? Because there's no way that Alba and Isla are winning this match. Not over Jade and Bianca. The only way they won the titles is because that was a triple threat tag match with Shayna and Zoe in the match. So what are we're just giving the titles back to Bianca. What's the only other outcome at SummerSlam, guys? Like, chat, wouldn't Bianca and Jade would have to win the titles if they're going to make this a straight up tag title match, correct? Because the only other thing would be one of them turns on the other. Again, we're not even planting seeds for that. So that would just be that would be some weird booking by HHH. Crazy country boy, crazy country. You don't even go here. No, JJ, they can't beat them two if it's straight up. Not even cheating would they beat Bianca and Jade. So I don't see any way that the tag title holders can walk out with the titles. So anyway, this is the first segment of SmackDown this Friday. Bianca and Jade are going to drop Alba and Isla where they stand. Send a message over to the champions. Then you're going to get LA Knight defeating Santos Escobar. LA Knight defeats Escobar via pinfall. Post-match, Logan Paul drops Knight. That's not intriguing creative. So Escobar just takes an L to LA Knight. And then after the match, Logan Paul knocks him out. Come on, man. That's 5-year-old creative. You give a kid in elementary school a crayon set, some crayons and a postie pad, a coloring book, and they can book that. Leave Escobar out of this then. Just bring in jobber matches, man. Why could LA Knight not just beat up Danny Dipshit Dugenheimer at the local bingo hall? Local pizza delivery guy Luigi Lugnuts. LA Knight, 4 minutes, beats Lugnuts. Gives him all the power moves. Everybody's looking at Knight like he's a superstar because he's bulldozering over Danny Dipshit Dugenheimer. And then after the match, then Logan can attack him. But why does Escobar have to be in this match? I say this all the time with these matchups. Most of them can easily be done with a jobber and you'd get probably a better result. And in the process, you would protect half of your roster. LA Knight defeats Escobar. Logan knocks him out. Grayson Waller and Austin Theory then have an in-ring promo with local boxing talent Terrence Crawford. Crawford knocks out Theory to end the segment. What? What are you talking about? At that point, we are 8 days away from SummerSlam. This Friday, we are 8 days away from SummerSlam, and a guy named Terrence Crawford is knocking out your former tag title holder. What does Terrence Crawford have to do with SummerSlam, other than the fact that he's from around that area that they're filming at, I believe? They're recording. Who needs to see that 8 days before SummerSlam? Austin Theory getting knocked out by a boxer. But Hunter is cooking. He's burning the kitchen. The kitchen is on fire right now with him cooking. Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax then defeat Bayley and Michin in a tag match. Because Nia's like the older sister now of Tiffany, and Michin and Bayley have this little thing because Bayley's taking on Nia. Michin, I don't know what they're doing with Michin. She pinned the Money in the Bank briefcase holder this past Friday. Just rolled her up. Listen, at least it'll be good to see Tiffany in action again, right? I'll try to look for any positive here, man. And then the show ends, right? This tells you it'll be a lot of backstage filler because the show then ends with the Bloodlines Tonga Loa and Tama Tonga winning the number one contenders tag team gauntlet match main event. Baron Corbin and Apollo Crews defeat LDF to start it off. Street Profits then defeat Corbin and Crews, the OC, and Pretty Deadly. Loa and Tonga then enter the match and defeat the Profits to become the number one contenders. So I believe at SummerSlam, you never know with HHH, he could put this before SummerSlam. Like next week on SmackDown, he could have this match. Because a lot of times he doesn't even put title matches on the PLE, pay-per-view. So who knows if this will even be at SummerSlam? Probably not. But as of now, as of Friday, I should say, you're going to get Bloodlines, Loa, and Tonga, right? Is that their... Loa and Tonga. Yes, Loa and Tonga. They're going to be taking on DIY for the tag titles. And that's SmackDown, guys. A boxer, Terrence Crawford, knocks out Austin Theory. Belair and Cargill take out Fire and Dawn. Tiffany and Nia beat Bayley and Meechin. LA Knight defeats Santos. And good night, everybody. I mean, it's not that big of a spoilers, right? If you heard this, if you came in over the last 5 minutes and you're like, oh no, BC, I didn't know you were doing the spoilers, man. Don't worry, you're not missing anything. We knew when we heard that this was going to be taped, that this was going to be phoned in. We didn't know it was going to be this bad. No idea, man. Fourth one, BC, I understand, but Crawford is a world champ. World champ at what? In boxing? Last time I watched boxing was what? Mike Tyson ripping the ear off of Holyfield? Maybe some Pacquiao matchups, some Floyd Mayweather. Boxing is watched by 6 people today. Nobody cares about Terrence Crawford knocking out Austin 8 days from SummerSlam? We're trying to find reasons to care about SummerSlam. Ain't nobody got time for Terrence Crawford. Much respect to Terrence Crawford. If he's a world champ, dude, get even more belts. I hope he gets the best of notoriety. I hope fans love him. That's awesome. This ain't the time. When you are taping a show and this is what we're reading, he's taking out your former tag title holders and knocking them out. What does that say for pro wrestlers? What does that say for Theory? What does that say for SummerSlam? Miles, Theory getting cracked by a boxer in 8 days from SummerSlam is ridiculous. That's what I don't get it. Much respect if he's a world champion in the boxing world, former or currently. That's great. But I don't know how many people are flocking to WWE SmackDown because Terrence Crawford knocked out Austin Theory. Boxing is just not what it used to be. You guys can look at the numbers, man. There was a time where boxing was fun. Now, you want to know the sad truth? Jake Paul, the brother of Logan, and a Mike Tyson that's 95 years old, slight exaggeration. Much love to Mike Tyson. I'm rooting for Mike Tyson. But Mike Tyson and Jake Paul is one of the most anticipated fights in years. That's from Boxing Insiders. What does that tell you about the sport of boxing? When a gimmick match, basically, an exhibition match by definition, is the best matchup, the best fight they've had in years. Makes you wonder, man. Makes you wonder. And that is true. Somebody put up JL. MMA did take, unfortunately for boxing, MMA did take more than a chunk of what they were, basically more than a chunk of their audience. There's no question. MMA in the US anyway has absolutely replaced boxing. So, guys, that's the spoilers for SmackDown. We'll talk more about it, I guess, as we get closer to SmackDown, but there's just not much to talk about on this card. Absolutely, just That is not a card you put together 8 days away from SummerSlam. For the Raw preview tonight, wait till you hear this. And before we get to it, let me give a shout out over to some of my unit. I have to go over supers now, so I make sure I get everybody. Some super chats came in from Strict Tango. 2-Spot Coffee, I appreciate the super chat, Strict Tango. Vince Russo thinks TK treats Mone like Hogan. Listen, I would too. Man. I'm not saying she's in the same league right now. Relax. But if I had Mercedes Moné, Sasha Banks, if I had her under contract and I'm the head booker, the head of creative, I'm giving her the world. Because damn, that's the best in the industry today for females. Dave Mille, 5-Spot Coffee. I appreciate the super chat. Dave had to start this stream off with the original banger bomb man himself. Always good to start the week amplified. Yeah, Stegmeister, I don't know if you're still up in the chat, but Dave was the original. Member of the banger bomb. Dave would start off these PLEs, sometimes just uploads like this. He would just be starting them off with the banger bombs, man. And then Stegmeister took over the reins. And Stegmeister has never given up those reins. We're going to have to call Stegmeister Mr. PLE on this channel. But Dave, the original banger bomb man himself, no doubt. Dave, I appreciate you, man, always. And the membership, you know that. That's to Dave. Colin. 2-Spot super chat coffee. Colin says, which is interesting, All In or SummerSlam? Oh, are you saying which is more interesting? I got to be honest with you. I don't know the full card for All In. I just know about 2 matches that All In has. I think that's all that's announced, right? Maybe there was a third or fourth, but I don't know their card yet. I know SummerSlam's card, and it's not intriguing to me at all. It's just not. I'm looking at SummerSlam. Sorry, not sorry, if a guy that lost 41 matches in a row solo, just recently, Solo Sikoa is taking on Cody Rhodes. We went from Cody and Roman Reigns, Cody and Roman main eventing, to Solo and Cody. One of you guys told me that Solo's first loss was to Cody. And then they just faced each other a few weeks ago, and that ended in a fast DQ just to get to this match. Point is that to a lot of people, it ain't just BC, man. That's not a main event. That's not a main event for Raw. That's not a SmackDown main event. I wouldn't need to see that at a house show. And this is your second biggest event of the year, and one of your main events is Solo and Cody just to bring back Roman, which is, by the way, is not even a guarantee. But if you want to bring back Roman, I can give you a million creative ways. You don't have to have Cody even involved. It's just weird to me. That's not a main event. And then the other half of the main event could be even stupider. That's right, the word stupider. Damian Priest a heel versus Gunther a heel. This past Monday night, they had a face-to-face. Did you guys hear the crowd? Crickets. Nobody cared. Nobody knew who to cheer for. Nobody wanted to cheer for anybody. Gunther's a heel. Damian is a heel who's got a very lackluster title reign going, unfortunately. That's why the crowd didn't care. Let's just hope SummerSlam's crowd finds a reason to care about Gunther and Damian. And that's your double main event for SummerSlam, guys. That is your double main event. The undercard? What do you got on the undercard? LA Knight versus Logan Paul. After a year and a half, over a year and a half, LA Knight is finally going to have a moment. It's the mid-card title he should have won last year. And he's just now coming around to the U.S. title. And that's if they even give him the title. At this point, him having a mid-card title after he was lightning white hot for over a year, it just seems like a very odd consolation prize. Too little, too late. Bayley versus Nia Jax? Feel like I've seen that match a few times, because we have. It's just the 2024 version of Nia Jax. She was released last year, guys. She was released. Comes back, and on the second biggest event of the year, she's going for the title. Now, at least this has been the best version of Nia we've seen. But this is a SummerSlam title match. Bayley and Nia? Rhea and Liv should be good. I just hope the story can hang on. Last Monday night, the story absolutely took a nosedive. Rhea came back. Not pissed off, disappointed. WWE has even put that in their headline over the last 24 hours. It's in their headline. Rhea is not pissed. She's disappointed. Well, that doesn't make good TV. A sad Rhea. Nobody wanted Rhea to come back sad. We wanted Dominic to go through the wall. Liv Morgan really feel the heat. Man, I hope that storyline can carry over the next 2 weeks, because that's one of the only matches people are really looking forward to. What else is on SummerSlam that I didn't get to, guys? CM Punk and Drew. Nobody knows. CM Punk has not been cleared yet, so they don't know if they can even stuff that. Then you have a time issue, right? Once he finally gets cleared and you only have, 8 days before SummerSlam, do you even do the match? And then there's talk, a stupid idea of Seth Rollins being a referee. What? Seth should have nothing to do with Drew and Punk. Seth and Punk have their own story. Let that stand on its own 2 feet. Do not mix Seth with Drew and Punk. There's not a title on the line. There's been no reason for Seth to be a referee. This is between Punk and Drew. We've been waiting for them to fight. Seth Rollins is a referee? Are you stupid? Are you stupid? This always happens with Rollins. They never know what to do with Rollins. So they're like, let's put him with Cody in a tag match with Rock and Roman. That'll solve this. And at WrestleMania, we had to see Seth Rollins in a freaking tag team match, because nobody wanted to go for a stupid title. So Seth gets thrown in this weird thing. And then all of a sudden now he's got to get thrown into Punk and Drew because we have nothing for Seth. We have to have him come out there in Cleveland so everyone can go, whoa, right? We have to have that moment. You want to put him in something, he should have been in the Damian and Gunther match. Just make that a triple threat then. At least you would have a face in the match. And by the way, Seth has more involvement with that. It's the title. It was Damian. So you can believe that Seth somehow would be with Damian and Gunther. Why is Seth with Punk and Drew? Punk has his own beef with Seth. This is a stupid idea. And you know what it does? It diminishes, it devalues McIntyre and Punk. Because now a third of the focus is on Sethington Rollins. It's bullshit, and I am talking major bullshit. What else am I missing? Well, I mean, what's going to be at SummerSlam? Cosmic. I do agree with that. What else is at SummerSlam? What am I really missing? I mean, SummerSlam, this is not a SummerSlam card. I'm hoping on the day it's going to be good. We've seen cards that sucked, and on the day, on the actual night itself, the boys and gals turned the shit they were given into gold. And there's been times where the board literally had more goods than uglies in the review, even though the card sucked. So that's what we're hoping for in Cleveland, because this is not a card. This is not a card where BC, and SummerSlam has always been one of my favorite events of the year. I always look forward to SummerSlam. This is one of those years where I'm like, what do we even... Yeah, they probably will, Big Nang. They'll probably throw Dragunov with Breakker and Sammy. We're hearing that rematch is going to be at SummerSlam. You know, the match you already saw at Money in the Bank where Breakker lost clean looking up at the lights. You're going to get the same match again 4 weeks later. And you might get Dragunov thrown in. And as much as I'm a supporter of Dragunov, I'll be the first to say this guy should not even be sniffing a championship. All he does is lose. You can't have a guy lose nonstop and then get a title match this past Monday, but that's what HHH did. And now it looks like Helmsley is going to take Dragunov and throw him in another title match at SummerSlam. What? Don't you want to book him properly first and then put him in title matches where it makes sense and fans can go, oh, whoa, Dragunov's going for a title. You can't make it up, man. So anyway, I don't... who was that? Colin, I don't know about what's more interesting right now, All In or SummerSlam. I don't know enough about All In right now in their card. I just know that SummerSlam's card is absolutely the drizzling shits. Derek Davis, 2-Spot Coffee. I appreciate the super chat, Derek Davis, ABC Amplified. It seems Hunter Hearst Helmsley is pushing B and GW. B and GW. B and GW. I don't know what B and B. What is that? B and GW. Am I supposed to know what that is? Derek Davis. I don't know what that is, man. Or at least I'm kind of stumped on it. Oh. Black and gold. What's B and GW? B and GW. Unless the W is a typo. All right, well, what would the typo be? Oh, Derek Davis, I got you. NXT black and gold wrestler. Oh, I got you. Okay. It seems like Triple H is pushing black and gold wrestlers. From his era, maybe. Not necessarily from Shawn Michaels's. Like Mello. Mello is just racking up one loss after another. Either he's on speed or he's taking a bunch of L's. He's in weird segments that make him look so small. It's like they're purposely putting him with dudes that are so much bigger. Like, don't put Mello anywhere near Randy Orton, because Orton's going to top. Mello's small. I mean, if you look at him with Orton, it's sad. Why would you have them in the same shot together? Like, why would they be in the same backstage segment or in the ring? And then you have them lose Dragunov. Shawn Michaels put so much into Dragunov. And all of a sudden, Dragunov is on a losing streak the second he gets there. Book like an idiot. Cameron Grimes, man. Cameron Grimes had so much potential. Cameron Grimes gets DOS booted. Dijak had a new lease on life with Shawn Michaels in NXT. Dijak gets DOS booted. I don't know. I can go on and on. It seems like Shawn Michaels it's almost like Hunter Hearst Helmsley is trying to sabotage Shawn Michaels' NXT. But I also feel like there's a lot of people that he even gave up on. Like DIY, even with titles, this is horrible booking. That's not Johnny Gargano and Tommaso. You know what I mean? That's not them. Like, I don't know if there's been a change in heart. I don't know if Vince is still telling Hunter not to book certain people. I don't know, but this is not Tommaso and Johnny. They're better than this booking-wise. Tommaso can put storylines on his back and is actually intriguing. He can be fun. Johnny Gargano is actually really fun with storylines. You would never know that. Even with titles now. Out of nowhere, by the way. I hear they're coming out and my eyes, you might as well go outside and pick up a bad habit. Start smoking something or take yourself and throw yourself in the middle of traffic. It's going to be better than watching Tommaso and Johnny have a 10-minute snooze fest. That's sad. Because Johnny and Tommaso are good, but so far, the booking under Hunter Hearst Helmsley has been absolutely tragic. So I don't know, Derek Davis. I'm seeing the opposite. It's like he's lost with the NXT wrestlers. I don't know. I mean, there's a few, I guess, right? I mean, Bianca was always going to be booked badass. You know, the ladies are a little bit different. Io and Bianca, you know, under Hunter Hearst. But with the dudes, I don't know. He's very odd. I mean, you look at Bronson Reed, right? That was one of Hunter's dudes. And Bronson, he's booked as the new mayor of Jobberville if Ricochet is indeed gone. So, not sure, man. Baron Cruz should have gotten released. Baron still has employment. Good for him. I don't know how. They tried 10 different character changes on Baron Corbin. That just didn't work. None of them worked. Now I don't even know. Is Baron a face now? I think Baron's a face. So yeah, anyway, what was that super chat exactly? Yeah, it seems Triple H is pushing black and gold wrestlers. I'm seeing the opposite. There's so many that he just does not know how to book properly. And Shawn Michaels' NXT wrestlers are absolutely getting derailed. Again, the women are the only asterisk. Some of them are able to kind of get decent booking. JL, 2-Spot Coffee. Appreciate the super chat, JL. Safe to say Cody and Zayn are busts as champs. Ooh, good conversation, JL. I appreciate the super chat. Let's talk about it. So, what do you want to talk about? Sami Zayn. So JL almost knocked my coffee. Absolutely not. Let me get another swig. I almost knocked my coffee over. So JL says Sami Zayn and Cody's title reigns so far are busts. Not memorable for sure. I won't say busts yet because they both won the titles at Mania. It's only been a few months. I'll let them get through the summer. But JL, they're definitely on the trajectory of not being memorable at all. This is what happened with Sami last year at Mania when he won the tag titles with Kevin Owens and he went right into obscurity. Now with the IC title, I said this just a few weeks ago. He was off of Raw, remember? And I told you guys, I said, I forgot he was even on the roster and he has an IC title. He has a title. And I was like, dude, I didn't even think about Sami the whole 3 hours. So, yeah, that's not good, obviously. That means that's not a memorable reign. And for Cody Rhodes, it was clear they never had a plan after Mania. They didn't even have a plan for Cody when he won the Rumble. You guys know that? Hunter knew that Rock was going to be taking on Roman. He still had Cody win the Rumble, and then he was like, we were just going to wing it. He said, dude said, we're just going to wing it. I don't know. We'll find something for Cody. It was like last year when he had him lose against Roman and just lay down next to the rubber chicken. The rest of last year, he had Cody take on Judgment Day 816 times. So I don't think they ever have really a plan for Cody. That's why they just have him tag up with Kevin Owens and Randy Orton the last month. Just feud with the bootleg bloodline. We'll think of something in the future. So I won't say busts yet because it's only been a few months, but JL, I will absolutely say these are lackluster title reigns thus far. There's no momentum to them, and they're not memorable as of now. So we'll see, man. JL, appreciate it. Ron C, 23, 2-Spot Coffee, super chat. Appreciate it, Ron C, 23. I'm amped up, BC. Woo! How's that, man? Charlie, man. Charlie's looking jacked. When she comes back, I would not doubt Charlie Flair is going to immediately win a championship. I'm telling you guys, man. I don't know how many of you guys need to see that. I certainly don't. Ron C, 23 is going to love it. But she's hitting that gym. She ain't just rehabbing. Guys, we're on our way to 200 on the ups. I appreciate that big time. I forgot to mention that the whole last hour. Mentioned it at the start of the show. Forgot to mention it the last hour. So if you guys can get that over 200 live, or at least in the vicinity, when we hand this live stream over to the replay unit, the future unit that's going to catch this on the channel, they will then take it to 300 and beyond. So I appreciate that big time. JL. Oh, Ron C23. Thank you, dude. JL with a 2-Spot Coffee again. Another $2 super chat from JL. JL says, BC, is Obafemi going to be better than Lesnar? No. I'm starting to see a lot more in him. At first, I was like, why are we giving this guy a mini rocket? Now I'm starting to see. I mean, he has a lot to offer. Let's just be happy that he's going to be better than the Giant Gonzalez. Let's be happy he's going to be better than Khali or Omaz. But there's only one Brock Lesnar. The guy's a force of nature, a beast that we've never seen before because there's a believability. There's this certain realism with Brock, and there's no faking that. I mean, there's only one Brock Lesnar. Now, we'll see. Future remains if there's only one Obafemi. That's what we're hoping for. But JL, there's only one Brock Lesnar, man. Appreciate the super chat. Brianna! Salute! Brianna with a $5 super chat. Brianna says, I'm rocking out with you at work, but had to speak. You know, Hunter Hearst Helmsley is messing up big time when people start saying Vince did it better. Salute, BC. Brianna, salute. We're hearing that too. Now, I'm not going that far. Vince's product the last 10 years has just been horrible. And you guys have been with me at least 5 or 6 of those years since I've been doing this, man. Vince McMahon's Raws and Vince McMahon's WWE was nearly unwatchable. And with Hunter Hearst Helmsley, there's many things that have been improved, and there's so much that has either stayed the same or that has regressed. And that's why I can't just plop him up on a pedestal, because some things are better than Vince. In totality, fans have already spoken out and said, no, this is not it. 1.6 for Raw, 2.2s and 2.3s for SmackDown still. Those ratings, those numbers are not going up. They're staying stagnant or they're dropping. That's bad. They're telling you that Hunter's product is confusing or bad or both. So now with the whole Bobby Lashley thing possibly having to exit WWE now because he feels slighted, he feels like that last contract offer was a slap in the face. A lot of people are now fed up. They're like, dude, you're losing some really good people. What are you doing? Your booking is a little weird. Your creative is not too creative. People are finally starting to hold Hunter Hearst Helmsley accountable. So, Brianna, that's all we can ask for. If you want a better WWE, if you want a better pro wrestling, then just have fair criticism. Don't just put Hunter on a pedestal. Also rip him when he has bad creative, bad segments, bad shows, bad ideas, because he has a ton of them. It was his words. It was Hunter's words that said, I don't know how to book the third hour of Raw. It's the most frustrating thing. It's so hard. So now you give this guy all 3 hours of Raw plus 2 hours of SmackDown and PLEs and Speed and NXT, all of this. You think he's just going to get better with age? Or do you think the dude is absolutely lost with all this programming? And that's why you're getting a lot of redundancy, a lot of weird booking, a lot of lack of creativity. Brianna, I could keep going and going, man. But Brianna, much love and respect. Salute. Appreciate the super chat, but more than anything, love seeing you up in here, Brianna. Kick ass at work, by the way. Big Nang with a couple of $2 super chats. Big Nang says, Cody says it best. Solo is nothing but a seat filler. I had to laugh when I heard that. So true, man. Big Nang also says gauntlet after gauntlet after gauntlet. There you go. Hey, Sheamus. That's your new shirt, buddy. Gauntlet after gauntlet after gauntlet. Or no, that wouldn't be Sheamus's, Big Nang. That would be Hunter's shirt. Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Gauntlet after gauntlet. Or Battle Royal after, or tournament after tournament after tournament. Otis Linkman. 2-Spot Coffee. What's up, Otis Linkman? What's going on with Kiana James? JR9, what is the deal with Kiana? Are you still up in here? JR9. Otis, that's a good question. I'm going to take that to my right-hand man on the channel, JR9 Gaming, if you don't mind. Anybody got word on Kiana James? Wasn't she called up and then she just was told to sit in catering? I don't think she was injured. Sir Charles, me too. Me too, man, sadly. I didn't think she was ready to get a call-up, to be honest, but good for her. I'm not going to play her hate. Let's see what she can do, but you got to actually see what she can do now. If you called her up and then you took a step back and go, oops, maybe we shouldn't have done that, well then, oops, maybe you should have done your due diligence beforehand. JJ Bulldog, Kiana is on Raw, but just in catering. Diamante says, yep, they just have nothing for her. Cosmic, wasn't Naomi the one that had beat her recently? I don't even recall, to be honest. I'm sure it's in one of my notebooks somewhere when I did the review. JR9 says, I heard that Warner Brothers Discovery matched one of the offers for NBA coverage. Wonder what that means for AEW. Well, I'll tell you what it means. If they didn't dot I's and cross T's with AEW yet, if that deal has not been in place and they're able to get NBA, that's going to be a hefty price tag. Then Tony really is going to get nowhere near what he was asking for, because he wasn't going to anyway. Naomi beat Davenport, JR9 Gaming says, Cosmic. Thank you, JR9. So yeah, anyway, Otis, good question. I have no idea. Forgot all about her, to be honest. But that's like a lot of these individuals. They get called up, and they just get told, we'll call you in a year. We'll think of something maybe. Otis Linkman, fourth one with a 2-spot coffee. Super chat. The fourth one says, BC, I understand, but Crawford is a world champ. And I know I got to this super chat when it actually went live. So fourth one, I do appreciate it big time. I just, boxing doesn't have the same weight that it once carried. So this close, it'll be 8 days from SummerSlam this Friday. So to watch Austin Theory get knocked out by a boxer, I don't know if it holds the same substance it would have 10, 15, 20 years ago. But I guess from what fourth one is saying is this dude is a world champ, so I guess maybe they're hoping that there is an audience there that's going to hear about this and go check it out on Friday. You know, you got to watch Terrence Crawford knock out Austin Theory. Fourth one, I appreciate you, man. JR9 has an update too on that. JR9 says Kiana's last match was versus Io and Zelina in the Money in the Bank qualifier last month. Oh, there you go, man. That's not too optimistic for her booking, huh? Hold on, guys. I know there was another wave of super chats. I want to make sure I get everybody. Dave Mealy with a 10-spot super chat. That's a couple of clearly Canadians and couple of coffees. Here's another head scratcher. Thanks to the supposed genius, Triple H Roman possibly returning to help Cody versus Solo. Roman coming to help the guy who beat him at Mania. Dave, I've already spoken about this a little bit. I'm going to speak about it a lot more. This is absolutely asinine. A lot of people are willing, right? Everybody knows Solo versus Cody is not a SummerSlam main event. They just advertised it for SmackDown a few weeks ago. It ended quickly in a DQ so they could push it to SummerSlam. But this was barely raising interest a few weeks ago for SmackDown. Cody versus Solo. They lost viewers in the second hour. They lost viewers. So all of us, if we're being honest, we know Solo versus Cody is not a main event for SummerSlam. Especially because Solo lost 41 matches in a row. Just putting some dudes that most of the wrestling world haven't heard of, putting them behind him and calling him the new leader of a group is not going to make him SummerSlam main event title worthy. So we know this. But there's a lot of fans that are willing to bypass it and go, oh, it's okay. You know why? Roman's coming back. It's all for Roman, BC. Cool. You could have a million ways to bring back Roman. There's no reason he should be in a segment with Cody Rhodes right from the jump. First of all, Cody and Roman are the ones who had that match at Mania. They had the beef. Second of all, Cody is your top face. Why would you have him right there in the ring when Roman and his reaction that he's going to get is simply going to dwarf, not just overshadow, but obliviate anything that Cody gets reaction-wise. Roman's reaction is going to make Cody Rhodes look like a dude who's getting Steve Blackman's reaction. Anybody remember Steve Blackman? That's what's going to happen. Much respect to Steve Blackman, by the way. I always like Steve Blackman. The charisma, the personality, I get it. Maybe it wasn't there. I always like Steve Blackman. But Roman Reigns in that reaction, why would you have Cody like in the ring hearing all that and see it? What are you going to do the rest of the year? Roman and Cody tag matches against the Bloodline. You know it's coming. If that excites you guys, good for you, honestly. I'm not even going to rip it apart. If that excites you, cool. But don't be shocked that there's a lot of fans like BC that doesn't excite us. Roman and Cody for the rest of the year, whenever Roman does show up, he'll probably only have another 3 or 4 matches the rest of the year. Tops. But they will be with Cody in tag team matches. Or maybe one match against Solo. But I would never put them in there to get... I'm not going to risk a main event of Solo and Cody just to get Roman back. I could come up with a million other creative ways to bring back Roman Reigns. Dave also with another $5 super chat. $5 coffee. Triple H is cooking, all right. He's become a master chef at cooking bullshit stew. I always say, Dave, if he's cooking, it is ramen noodles. And I'm not even talking about the packs where you put it in a pan and you let it boil. I'm talking about the cup of noodles. You just fill it with water and pop it in the microwave. Because that's all that's being cooked right now. I wish it was different. I wish Monday Night Raw was truly rocking out, right? That's what you hear. SmackDown was so bad this Friday, right? And the community is actually speaking out together and saying that. Thankfully, we're all being honest. SmackDown was horrible. But there's so many people that still want to say, at least Raw's better, man. Raw was so much better. Raw was not better. Zelina Vega losing in 60 seconds to Sonya. Shayna and Zoe defeating Chance and Carter. Bronson Reed losing to Sheamus. Braun Strowman getting chokeslammed and defeated by Damian Priest. What was good? Rhea Ripley came back and she's disappointed at Dominic. But she's still talking. She's still hanging out in the clubhouse. What was good about... What are you talking about? Dragunov and Sami Zayn's main event ends in a DQ just so we can see Braun Breaker do his stupid fucking spear with the aerial shot. What do you mean Raw was that much better? Raw was lazy. Raw was forgettable. Raw was unacceptable. But I guess it's a different era, man. Fans today just want everything to be so good, so they have this preconceived, like, they just bullshit themselves. They're like, yeah, man, WWE is on fire, and the pro wrestling is on fire, and the wrestling business is booming. And then you look at the rating, and Raw's got a 1.6. SmackDown can barely get out of 2.2. Dave, appreciate it, man. Courtney Ward, 2-spot coffee, $2 super chat. I still think Cody should have won last WrestleMania. No doubt, Courtney, there was no rubber chicken lane in the lane next to Cody Rhodes that needed to be had. Do the right thing. Read the room. Cody wins the championship. Still to this day, I don't know how you botched that. And because of that, this year's WrestleMania got so convoluted. This year's WrestleMania was such a mess. They had to make a documentary about it, about how much of a mess it was and how many mistakes were made. Never, in the decades I've been watching pro wrestling, I've never seen a documentary have to be made about how badly booked the pay-per-view was, other than maybe Bash at the Beach from WCW with Eric Bischoff, Vince Russo, and Hulk Hogan. That was a pretty interesting story. But, word is from that documentary that Hunter Hearst Helmsley knew ahead of time that Rock, and Brian Gerwitz, Rock's writer, says this, that H knew that Rock was taking on Roman, and Hunter Hearst Helmsley still decided to have Cody win that Royal Rumble, and he didn't have a plan afterwards. He was just going to wing it. Yeah, that's the guy running WWE. Unfucking real, man. You can't make it up, man. You can't make it up. Let me make sure I got everybody, man. A lot of super chats came in, so I want to make sure I got everybody. I think I got everybody in those 2 rounds of supers. Let me just run through another acknowledgement and a shout out to all of these super chats. Strict Tango, Colin, Derek Davis, JL, Dave Mille, Ron C23, Brianna, Big Nang, Otis Linkman, the 4th one, and Courtney Ward. I appreciate those super chats, big time, guys. Never needed, always appreciated. All my channel members that started us off, man. There was a bunch of 19-monthers down from literally day one. You guys rock, man. Let me go over Raw's preview tonight real quick with you guys, man. Monday Night Raw tonight. This is what is advertised. Now, this was from a couple of hours ago. Maybe you guys have heard more. CM Punk is returning tonight. CM Punk is going to address the Drew McIntyre suspension. Resuspended last week. CM Punk is there live. Lyra Valkyria versus Sonya Deville. Xavier Woods and Otis Antazawa versus Karrion Kross and AOP. That's all that's advertised. There's nothing announced for Priest and Gunther, but we do obviously expect a segment with them. Nothing has been announced for Priest and Gunther. Nothing announced for Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. And nothing announced for Braun Breaker and Sami Zayn. So maybe you guys have an updated card. Maybe they came up with something. It is now past 4. So maybe something more came up. But you know, man. You know Ron C23. But that's Raw's preview, man. I wish I had more to what do you want to talk about? nothing to talk about with Raw. It looks like it's another show where they're just kind of wing it. And they're just going to try to excite you guys with Xavier Woods, Otis, and Tozawa in a 6-man tag with Karrion Kross and AOP. And if that doesn't excite you, they're hoping that Valkyria versus Sonya Deville excites you. And that's it. CM Punk will have a 5-minute promo tonight, and then everything else is just going to be winged. JR9 is hearing that a main event is going to be Jay and Sammy versus Judgment Day. I cannot express to you how mind-numbingly fucking boring that is. Sammy and Jay versus Judgment Day. How's that exciting to anybody? You're going to wait 3 hours on your Monday evening to watch a bullshit tag team match that I wouldn't even pay for at a house show. I am not even joking. I mean this wholeheartedly. I mean this when I say this. I would rather Sammy and Jay, if they have to be in a tag team, I would rather them taking on 2 local jobbers at the bingo hall. It's more fun. I get to watch these 2 dudes get their asses whooped, and I get to look at Sammy and Jay like superstars. That's what they used to do with jobber matches. The guy who's the superstar would look like he is because he's beating the shit out of the other guy. Now we're going to watch 15 minutes of 50-50 wrestling. The bad guys are getting it in. Oh, here comes the good guys. Oh, here come back the bad guys. Nobody's going to be a clear-cut favorite or a winner, right? Nobody's going to feel like they're a winner because you got to make the other superstars look like superstars. But not for too long, because the other superstars now have to look and feel like superstars. Nobody's a superstar if they all have to act and look and feel like a superstar. At that point, they don't look like superstars, they look like stupid stars. And nobody wants to follow stupid stars. Jobber matches, man. Jobber matches. Watching Jake the Snake Roberts just beat the shit out of fucking Luigi Lugnuts for fucking 5 minutes. Oh, that badass clothesline. That DDT. Fucking with him in the corner. Afterwards, he puts the snake on him. Anybody remember? He put the snake on him. That was more fun. I didn't want to see Jake Roberts versus Rick Martel every Monday night. Or every Saturday on Superstars. I wanted a reason to care about Jake Roberts, and that's what we were given. And then what you would do is you have a storyline every week. And at the pay-per-view, a WrestleMania, a SummerSlam, a Rumble, a Survivor Series, you would have to see Jake Roberts take on somebody like Ric Flair or Rick Martel. Mountie. You'd have to see it. Because separately, you were building up 2 different stars, superstars. And at the pay-per-view, those stars would collide. Who's going to win? I don't know. Both have been built up like stars. Now you 50-50 book everybody. Escobar being beat by LA Knight this Friday. This past Friday, Mello losing to Andrade. What does that do for Mello? Why have Andrade in there with Mello? Why is Dragunov in there with Sammy if he's not going to beat him anyway? You guys wonder why we can't get larger-than-life superstars? Because the booking won't allow it. Every fucking week, you're going to get these superstars in the ring with other superstars. They're going to feel average. They're going to feel average because half the match they're getting their asses kicked just as much as they're kicking ass. You guys know I'm right, man. You guys know I'm right. The fuck? I don't know, a little weird. You guys know I'm fucking right, man. Absolutely bullshit. You can't do that. You can't keep putting these stars together, booking them 50-50 or worse, and expecting a good reaction to come out of it. What got us on that? Talking about Jabba, what were we even talking about before that? What was the... Oh, JR9 talking about the main event tonight. Jey Uso and Sami Zayn versus Judgment Day. Who comes out looking good there? The fans don't win. The live crowd, no doubt, will be yeeting, right? I'm sure we'll get a "This is awesome" chant because they'll see wrestling action in front of them. I don't know who's at their living room at the edge of their seat with a Jey Uso Sammy Judgment Day matchup. Anyway, that's what I got for you guys, man. Nearly 2 hours into this. We'll end it with that. That was the SmackDown spoilers for this Friday. That was Monday Night Raw's preview for tonight. That was the talk on Bobby Lashley, the update. It does look, there is a very big chance that AEW could resurrect the Hurt Business. It has to be a different name, obviously. WWE owns that trademark. But I appreciate it, guys, man. For anybody that tuned in live, even if for a minute, 10 minutes, the whole 2 hours, you guys made this special. All the coffees that you guys chucked at the channel when you didn't need to, I appreciate that. Over 200 on the ups. Less than an hour of notice, and you guys rocked out 200. So we are giving the future unit, the replay unit, we're giving them an easy goal of 300 over the next 24 hours. We can definitely hit that, obviously. JR9 is going to end it with the $2 super chat. JR9 says Raw's first match is Dragunov versus Breaker again. No way. Are they doing that match again tonight? JR9, is that already that's already confirmed? Cosmic, I appreciate it. Flip, I appreciate that. Humble, you too. Right back to you, James. Crazy Country, I appreciate that. Marie, much love and respect, right back to you. So it looks like JR9 says, haven't announced it, but most have the rundown, and that is actually on it. So JR9, some more breaking news there. It looks like you're going to get a third match with Braun Breaker and Dragunov. This is looking like they're just going to add Dragunov out of laziness to a title match at SummerSlam. Make it a triple threat when Dragunov has done nothing but lose match after match, or just win. If he did win, it's via DQ. And they're just going to chuck him in a title. I mean, this is the oddest booking I have seen in a long time for a guy who you have to go out of your way to botch his booking. Dragunov is simplistic booking. It would be so easy to book somebody like Dragunov. It doesn't take too much effort. You'd have to go out of your way to nearly sabotage the dude, and somehow Hunter Hearst Helmsley is doing such. Or just watch him have Breaker beat Dragunov for no reason again, just to make him look more dominant against Sammy. Could be. Either way, I don't... This type of booking, and you know better than anybody, JR9, this type of booking for Dragunov is I don't know. I'm just going to leave it at that. It's boggling, man. It's boggling. It is mind-boggling what Helmsley does. I think it's a better WWE when we just have all the McMahons kind of just removed, and let's just start just a fresh, clean slate. And that's why we have fun and we call him Paul Levesque McMahon, because, I mean, listen, every family dinner with Stephanie, obviously the old man is right there. Obviously they talk shop. Obviously Vincent Kennedy is still a big influence. And he just learned from nothing but Vincent Kennedy. I think we'll get a better product when the McMahons in totality just kind of call it a day. You know what I mean? I think that then we'll finally be able to really try to get these shows back in order. Till that happens, I don't know what the heck is happening in WWE, but I'm hoping SummerSlam somehow comes to... Listen, Monday Night Raw tonight, we're going to be viewing it. I'll be doing my due diligence. I'll be taking the notes. I'm hoping it's a good show tonight somehow. I don't know. This seems like another filler show. I'm just hoping, bare minimum, that there's more better than more worse on this show. For the 3 hours. For when we do the review tomorrow, I'm hoping we're talking a lot better than we are bad. We'll see, man. MD20 is going to close us out with that $5 super chat. MD20 says, I don't get how Hunter can have all this talent and have all the pieces to return to WWE to greatness, and he is failing greatly. Oh, first of all, he just loves to be on TV too much. He's always on all the promotionals. He loves to be front and center on the kickoffs or or the post-media scrums. He's just he wants you to know that this is his era. And there's so many wrestlers that he has no problem just leaving at catering or telling to go home or just watching go out the company, leave the company. We shouldn't be too shocked. He learned directly from Vince, right? The apple doesn't fall that far from the tree. I don't know why people are that shocked. You know what I mean? I've tried to tell you guys this from day one, man. Even if you think it's better than Vince, that's great. In some aspects, you are correct. But I don't know how much better you thought this was going to be under HHH. This is exactly what I told you guys was going to happen. You know, and here we are, man. And that's why the ratings are where they are. And that's without football competition. Now, 1-6 last week. I'm hoping they at least get back to a 1-7, early 1-8s for this show. I mean, you can't possibly get 2 back-to-back 1-6s, right? Right? We'll see, man. MD20, appreciate it, man. That's a good way to end this stream. I appreciate the support, man, as always. Dropping the facts, the absolute truth when it needs to be. That's what we represent. That's what we do. We hope this show tonight is good, bad, or ugly, or indifferent. We are going to talk about it tomorrow for sure. So hopefully you guys will stop by and check out that review. Until next time, and there will be that next time. Top guys, we are out. BC in the unit saying check you. Salute! Salute, guys. Go long, too, if you don't mind, man. Somebody go deep. 75 yards into the end zone. There's going to be a Hail Mary. Little bit longer. Yep, you got it. Focus that, man. I got to see the field. There you go. Here.